Sick tits.
Sick titties.
Do I have to clap?
Do it.
5, 6, 7, 8.
I like that we get a 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
Hi, friends. I'm Kimberly,
I'm Tori.
and you're listening to It's Nothing.
It's everything.
Every single thing. Something really fun is happening today.
Yes.
People are sending us questions.
God, I love that already.
People are asking us questions.
Mhm.
They're sometimes it's a voice note, sometimes it's a message.
Mhm.
Today we have a message. So we're gonna do.
What are we calling it?
So we're gonna do a little KT hot take.
Yeah.
This is our hot take.
I was trying to think of some kind of fun song to be like.
I think the Nelly song.
Hot take.
Oh, that's funny because in my head, I'm like, hot take. Where we go? Remember that song?
No.
Down, down, baby. Oh, baby. Not that. I don't need Nelly to be my.
No, Nelly, come on. What was that Band-Aid hiding?
Nothing. Take that Band-Aid off.
Nothing and everything. Probably
Everything.
It's full of secrets, that Band-Aid.
That tiny little Band-Aid has so many secrets.
But if also you have a question and you're like, I want to ask them, there's no silly questions.
No silly questions, no TMI questions.
No. We want it all.
It can literally be anything.
It can literally be anything.
What's your favorite breakfast?
Yeah, you can send it to
Why
us on
does my dog have a
Instagram.
nose?
I'd be like, cuz.
We're gonna consult AI for that one. Dear GPT, why do dogs have noses?
Why?
But we're gonna be hella funny when we
But
tell you
make
the
it
answer.
witty.
But make it witty, yeah. So send us your questions.
Yes, please. You can do it on Instagram. And that's
That's
it.
it.
That's really all you can
We're
do.
not giving you our phone numbers.
No. If you know me personally or Kimberly personally, you can.
Yeah,
But
you can. And if you know either of us personally, send it with no context so we're completely caught off guard. It's fine.
Okay. So our question today comes from the beautiful Maureen. Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah. It comes from Maureen.
It comes from Maureen, a human in this world. And her question is, as a woman in her late 60s and with admittedly good genes, I've never been a big person. I continue to watch my peers of a similar age obsess about what they're eating and putting on weight and becoming skinny. There is so much out there that is wrong or misleading about how one should eat. But over and over again, I see my friends fall prey to one fad diet after another. I suppose the origin of this is built into our systems via media and misleading assumptions as we were raised. But the notion of this continuing on our entire lives is so painful to watch. I'm interested in your thoughts about it. First off, Maureen, thanks for that kick-ass question.
Maureen took us straight to the heart of the matter.
She is everything.
She is everything.
She is literally
There's
period.
no nothing
There's
about her.
nothing.
She's
She's
just
everything. What a good 60s. I mean, all people though, right?
Well, this is where I'm like, I don't even know which side of the pool to dive into this from because I want to dive
Probably
into
the deep end.
from all sides. We're gonna deep it.
And then we'll swim to the shallow. We're gonna get deep in it.
We gonna get balls deep
All
in
up
this.
in ya.
All up in ya. First of all, Maureen, one, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Two, I love that she specifically highlights the age that she is because I feel like it's very easy for people who are our age and younger to be talking about this, but it's so important to highlight the fact that it's still like it's never not happening. People are never not thinking this way because it has been so deeply ingrained in our society that we as women have to be perfectly formed, shaped, tight, the skin, the muscles, the everything has to look a certain way in order for us to be deemed acceptable. When with men, there is no same exception.
No.
Or expectation rather.
But like, even if you are a bigger person, it's more acceptable.
Yeah.
For a bigger man.
Yeah.
Than a bigger lady.
Yeah. Yeah. And even, I mean, I love that she called out genetics, right? Genetics are the root, one of the primary roots of this conversation.
Yeah.
You cannot control your genetic background. You came into this earth, into this life with the genetics that you have. You can't do anything about that. So when we are presented with this idea that we are meant to look a certain way, and then we are provided in pop culture and in modern society and in every magazine you see on a newsstand, one specific example of the quote unquote ideal body type.
Yeah.
First of all, that's fucking insane because I don't have that person. You know whose genetics I don't have?
Everybody else's.
Literally anybody else's. Like,
Kardashians.
I
They
do
don't even
not
have their own
They
genetics.
don't know. None of they're not
ain't
real
real.
anymore. None of that's real. But like, oh my God, what's her name? Giselle. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Bündchen. I don't have her genetics. I'm not gonna look like her.
You're not 5'10"?
I'm not 5'10", believe it or not. My legs did not finish growing. So I did, if you take the 0 off.
Steroids screwed me.
There I am.
That's another podcast episode.
Hashtag steroids screwed me.
Yeah. Sucks to my ass, Mar. Yeah.
And there's no...
But they also in the 60s, well, yes, but women in their 60s and above, right, grew up in the deep fads, like deep fads of like of the Kellogg's diet and God, what were Weight Watchers and
remember
oh gosh, what were some of the other ones?
What's it called?
Slim Fast.
Slim Fast? Remember Slim
Fast? Yes.
Well,
this is also the Oprah thing, right? When like Oprah came out with her little red wagon.
Yeah.
And everybody was watching back in the day when they were raising babies and they were at home.
Yeah.
They were watching Oprah and not sitcoms. What are the dramas?
Oh, the melodramas, the daytime soap operas.
Got there. The soap operas where everyone was just like so beautiful and like manicured.
Yeah.
Everything was manicured. I mean, that would fuck with my head too.
Yes, and also like you look at historically the way that women who have been deemed acceptable to be shown on screen, right? Like you look at the way that every single woman on screen looked, and it's all the same. They all truly are malnourished and unwell.
Corsets.
But socially accepted. Therefore, that's what gives them value as humans.
Yeah.
It's the most asinine.
Yeah.
It's the most asinine. And not to, I mean, I feel like the plastic surgery conversation is like a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
I don't want
looking like filters.
I don't want to judge people for getting plastic surgery. It's not my decision to make. It is not my business what anyone else chooses to make themselves look like. But the idea that we have to go to such lengths to make ourselves quote unquote acceptable is
sad.
Deeply problematic.
Yeah.
And then genetics are only one component of it. Then there's hormones. Then there's lifestyle. And I don't mean lifestyle like do you sit on the couch all day eating bonbons? I mean like how stressful is your life?
Yeah.
How much can you actually regulate your systems? How much sleep can you get? How much are you taking care of your body? Do you have the opportunity to cook a home cooked meal? What does every day of your life look like that you have the ability to support yourself to look a certain way?
Yeah.
And then everything that we look at, especially now, everything that we look at in pop culture is like so specifically curated. Like you look at anybody who's on the cover of Shape magazine.
Oh, sure.
Not only did she starve herself to get to cover photo ready, she starved herself. She's dehydrated herself. Yeah. Everyone that I know in fitness who's ever done a photo shoot has intentionally it's part of the process. You eat less and less and less. You stop drinking water. And then on the day of the photo shoot, you take shots of vodka to dehydrate your body so that your muscles are more prominent in the photo shoot.
Feels like a nightmare.
And then you go to the hospital. That's fine. Everything's fine.
But you got a cute photo.
But you look great.
That
but
they're probably they're gonna have to edit.
Yeah,
I mean that's
that they're gonna edit anyway.
Yeah, there's some Instagram like influencers that I follow who are like big advocates for not editing.
Yeah,
and have been models of some kind, fitness models, and they have been edited, and they like call out the photographers because they're like, why?
Yeah,
why was I not cute enough? You hired me to begin with.
Yeah.
Why are you editing? And that's the other thing is like understanding that nothing's real, right? Like and accepting that. Be like that. If you can just like see it as art, right? and not even good art, maybe, but like not taking that on internally, right? Of like, I have to look like that person,
Yeah.
right? That has to be my truth. It's like, no. And can we just throw away all scales?
I hate
I
a
mean, I know
scale.
people who are going for just a number on a scale, and it's like, if you got on that scale over there, it'd be different. So, like, what does it matter?
Not only that, but like, what time of day? Have you peed yet?
Have you
you pooped
pooped?
yet? Yeah. That's my favorite
Yes.
game. My parents have a scale. So we don't own a scale. I have
Mm-hmm.
not owned a scale in, I don't even know, decades maybe.
Mm-hmm.
My parents have a scale. Whenever I am at home at my parents' house, I use the scale to see how much I pee. That's literally the reason that I do it. And my volume is almost always close to 16 ounces, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
But like, I can lose a pound by peeing.
Yeah.
Like your weight, your weight will fluctuate, especially people in female bodies with
Oh my gosh.
constantly fluctuating hormones.
Yeah.
Your weight is going to fluctuate multiple times throughout the month if you are actively cycling body. And that's normal.
And that's normal. It's good. It's probably good.
Yeah.
That's good that you have a period still.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because those people who are starving themselves and or, the orthorexias of the world,
Mm.
which, hi, my name's Tori Sparrow, and I have dealt with that in my life.
Really?
Oh my gosh, yes. Where I was like weighing every day.
Yeah.
And tracking to the point that it took up so much mental load. I don't mind tracking. Like, I don't mind macro tracking. I have no problem with it. I still do it, but not to the point where I am like 1 grain of rice is going to make me, and it's a control thing for me more than anything else.
Sure.
Right. But also, and not to say you can't have goals, because I think that's where it gets misleading, is like, well, I have physique goals or, athletic goals or whatever it might be. You can have those without doing the unhealthy craziness,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and what are your true goals, right? If you
Right.
have athletic goals,
Yeah.
like you want to push more weight,
Yeah.
that's not necessarily going to produce the aesthetic outcome that you want. In order to push more weight, you have to have more reserves, which means you have to bulk up,
Yeah.
which means you have to carb load, which means like any bodybuilder that you've seen that is in like peak performance, peak physique performance, went through a chubby phase to be able to bulk up enough to then have the reserves to work their muscles to the point that you see them at.
Oh, when I was eating even 1,700 calories, I was getting injured every time I was in the gym.
1,700 calories?
And doing CrossFit 5 days a week and teaching yoga. This is not that far away from right this moment. And I was getting injured so much. And then I started to work with a professional who had gone to school, a nutritionist who went to school and was like, yeah, if you're that active, like for a child, for a teenager, the lowest that they go on, like, the, out there in the world, all the good words are coming out of my mouth right now. She like showed me this thing and it was like nothing below 1,800.
Yeah.
Right. And that's for a teenager.
Yeah.
I am not a teenager.
Yeah.
And that's a sedentary human being.
Right.
And so, which I am also not. And so, like, the second I started to, I don't know, eat a fucking carb, my performance in the gym went up, which is my goal. That was my goal. Is like where I had to mentally shift my brain instead of taking up less space, instead of being the smallest version of Tori, which wasn't getting me the actual things that I wanted in life. I wanted to be able to push like big weights in the gym.
Yeah.
Right?
You can't do that on 1,800
You
calories.
cannot do that on 1,800 calories. Or not even that. Like, right? And everything was, I was grumpy. I was like, life did not get better.
How was your brain fog?
I mean, probably trash. and I was frustrated anytime. And then anytime I would go out, try to eat with people, it was like, here's, I never got to the point of like having like my Tupperware at a restaurant. Right. But there was guilt of eating food. And it's like,
of nourishing your body and enjoying time with your friends.
Enjoying time with friends, enjoying the food, right? Like having a burger and being like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And so I had to be really active in my reprogramming of my brain.
Which takes a lot when the
which takes a lot.
message is delivered to us from everywhere we turn. Everywhere we turn.
Yeah.
No matter what
Yeah.
age you are, no matter what gym you're going to, no matter where you grocery shop, the message is still coming at us from literally everywhere.
Well, and if you're, in my mom's bracket, in the 60s, right? If
Yeah.
it's age 60, you're not on like social media, and or your social media is curated to just be the fit, be small, right? Like I also had to look at my social media and be like, how are those accounts making me feel? Do they make me feel less about myself? Or are they part of the reprogramming of like bone density and muscle mass are important?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so if they weren't, I stopped following them because
I love that.
I couldn't. But I don't think the women in their 60s, right, as Maureen asked us, was like are necessarily even see it that way, right?
Yeah.
It's like, well, this worked for me when I was in my 40s. Well, babe, you're not in your 40s anymore.
No, your body has different needs.
Your body has way different needs.
And you can't assume like what worked for me in my 20s doesn't work for me now.
No.
In my 20s? Come on. I could stay up past midnight. Now, forget about it.
That's like it's like drinking a gallon of vodka if I stay up too late.
It's horrible.
I feel like absolute trash the next day, and I was like, damn it.
I've reached the age. Bad.
Yeah.
I think that's part of why I was like such a zombie yesterday, because I went out on Wednesday night for my birthday. I went out to dinner with Kyle. Dinner was at 7:45. I was like, great, I'll be in bed by 11. I got home at 11:45. And I was like, okay, it's fine. It's just one night. I'm going to muscle. I, by the way, had one glass of champagne all night. So I was not like drinking. I had a glass of champagne. Woke up.
That's all it takes.
Woke up yesterday morning and I was like, I can't function.
Yeah.
What? I'm supposed to do things today? It was horrible. I had to take a nap. I fell asleep on the couch at like 9.
I had to take a nap.
I had to take a nap.
That one glass of champagne did it.
But I think there's also like so many layers in Maureen's message too, because I love how much she cares about the experience of people around her.
Yeah.
She's like, how can we help them? And I feel the same way. I think you do too, right?
Yeah.
Like this knowledge that to take care of your body, you must fuel it is like knowledge that is not perpetuated in our modern culture at all.
Skinny talk is a thing.
What's that?
It's literally TikTok for skinny people.
No.
Yeah. I just learned about that today on my way here when I was, before I was driving. Driving
and scrolling.
Driving and scrolling. I've seen people do that.
I do
Stop
too. It makes
doing
me so
that.
angry.
Please.
On the freeway? Oh my God.
Watching shows?
Yeah.
No, shame on you. Anyway, but yeah, I saw this thing of like be on Skinny Talk, and yet again, I've curated my Instagram that it's these women who are incredibly strong and have worked on like building muscle and bone density and stuff.
Yeah.
But they're like, can we talk about why that's not it?
No, it's not.
It's not it, and it's going to lead you down paths that you do not want to end in. Like, let us reframe what healthy is.
Yes. And also, like, let us be gender specific. If you live in a female body, first of all, I mean, let me get on my soapbox for a minute.
Please.
It was not required.
It's your podcast.
It's my podcast. I'm going to get on my own goddamn soapbox on my own goddamn podcast.
Yeah.
It was not required to include female bodies in medical research until the 90s.
The 90s.
The fucking 90s. So we spent all of these years telling women how to eat to stay skinny and giving them horrible advice.
Yeah.
Horrible advice that now that we're doing research on menopause and on the impact of diets on menopause and on the impact of no carb diets on female postmenopausal bodies, and we're looking at correlations between low carb diets and dementia in women, and we're looking at correlations between low calorie diets and menopause transitions and osteoporosis and premature broken bones. Like, the research is really compelling, and we have done women such a disservice for so long by sending this message that what allows them to be a valuable existence on this planet is to appear in a certain way when all we're doing is setting them up for failure for literally the rest of their lives.
And not even a long, healthy life.
No, we're taking years off their lives by telling them to diet this way.
Yeah. Yeah.
It makes me so angry.
It makes me ragey.
And to be fair, there are plenty of men who experience disordered eating as well.
Oh my goodness. Not ever really talked about.
Yeah.
Not ever really talked about.
Yeah.
You know, and it's so accurate. It's so out there.
Guys, you have one life, only one life, and only one body. You only get one of each.
Please take care of it. And
enjoy it, please.
Enjoy it. Eat the burger, man.
Enjoy. Burgers are delicious.
Just get outside, go for a walk, have water.
Water?
More than once a day.
Water does incredible things for weight regulation. Incredible things. Water and sleep.
It
Water
also,
and sleep.
yeah, I mean, I also don't think that it's, now we're going too long, but like, they've complicated it. They've made it so complicated to like live a healthy, what is healthy? There's the first question. And because I like think about the elders in my life.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, I can't have this. I can't have this. I have to eat this much. And it's like, have you walked today? Have you had water? Have you had protein?
Yeah.
Like the lack of protein in the elders of my life
I know.
is alarming because I'm like, your insides though.
But they also, to be fair, have had the absolute worst of it, right? They were
Yes.
told only eat meat. Then they were told never eat meat. Then they were
Right.
told never eat carbs. And then we went
like their
and then
fat
we went
diets
to
were
like
crazy.
never eat fat, which
Yeah.
was the worst possible thing that we could do.
Yeah.
Literally every system in your body functions on fat. Fat and carbohydrates are so vital to operating systems of yourself. So vital. But we told them, don't eat this, don't eat this, don't eat this. And so then they just like bounced from one fad to another. And then everything got rebranded, right? Atkins is now keto. Like there is just like this endless cycle. Atkins, yeah. That was the 90s, right? Or early 2000s.
Yeah.
That was like no carbs, only proteins and fats. Like I remember it was like eat lots of eggs and bacon.
Yeah.
Remember when like IHOP had an Atkins diet menu?
On menu.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like
intermittent fasting got pushed on them real hard.
Intermittent fasting. And all of these, I shouldn't say all. Some of these diets have scientific value. Intermittent fasting has scientific value for specific populations for specific periods of time.
Yes.
Same thing with keto. Specific populations, specific periods of time.
Yeah.
These are meant to be implemented at certain stages, planned, strategized, executed, and then you move on from them. You don't just live your life that way forever. And unfortunately, like that's also not, well, one, it's not communicated, but two, it's like that's what everyone receives, right? It's like you receive the newest trending diet because the research came out and it said that intermittent fasting reduces inflammation and increases your body's ability to process whatever. And but that's like those studies are based on like 6-week trial periods, 12-week trial periods. And we take those trial periods and then we decide that we're just going to live out the rest of our life that way until the next new thing comes along.
Until it stops working too.
Right. And then we pivot from one to the other instead of just like living a life where you eat good food and you eat
whole foods, right? Just
whole
like
foods,
go back to the
eat
basics.
until you're full, drink more water, go to sleep, be a happy person. Do you know how much sunlight? Do you know how much stress impacts your body's ability to manage a healthy weight? I would say
I think a lot, right?
Yes.
I'm no scientist, but
I ain't no scientist. But if you're spending all of your days obsessing over how many grams are on that food scale and whether or not you need to include or remove that extra grain of rice, the amount of like resting stress that is in your body is not going to help you get to the ultimate results that you want.
Yeah.
And does it feel good? No.
Because I do think that there's a time and a place for things, right? There's a time and a place, right? But I mean, that's why I still track is like, it's because of performance.
Yeah.
Right? It's to make sure that I'm supporting my insides so that the things I want to do on the outside, I'm not going to crush myself with, right?
Well, and it's also data collection, right?
Yeah.
If your goal is for your max to be 50 pounds more than it is right now.
Oh my God.
What have you done?
Could you imagine?
Right?
Heavens.
What have you done calorically to get yourself to where you are now? And therefore, what do you need to do calorically to get you to an additional 50 pounds of max weight?
I mean, talk about energy too. I think that was the biggest takeaway when I went from like eating 1,700 calories or less to eating 2,000 calories. I was like, the Energizer Bunny.
Yeah.
I was like, you want to go for a run?
Let's go.
I don't even like running. Let's do it. I was like, I mean, just happier throughout my day. I could be like more active with my kids.
Yeah.
Like all of it is connected, right? Because it's literal fuel. Like changing it.
It is literal fuel, and it's fuel for your brain. You're feeding your brain. And if you have a female body that is actively in a monthly transitional hormonal cycle, your liver needs carbs to process the hormones.
Say it again for the people in the back.
Your liver needs carbs. Give it to them. And God, there's like so many things I want to say.
I know.
Last thing I'm going to say.
Okay.
Going back to genetics.
Yes.
Because I feel like what Maureen pointed out, with admittedly good genes, i.e., I've never been a big person. Same, admittedly good genes. I think the quote unquote heaviest I've ever been when I've been unhealthy is maybe close to 130 pounds. Not pregnant.
Yeah.
Not pregnant.
Okay, not pregnant. I was like, what?
No. She gained a lot of weight when she was pregnant. It was like nearly 60 pounds with each of my children.
God bless.
But which is a whole different conversation about gaining weight for women.
Yeah.
Guess what? I gained 60 pounds nearly with each of my children. I am 5'1".
Are you really?
5'1" 5'8".
Okay.
I'm 5'1". Generally, my resting weight is somewhere between like 112 and 118. It fluctuates. Imagine.
That's my one leg.
But like that's my point. Is so when I have been at my heaviest, quote unquote, not pregnancy related, just like when my health was not optimized, I was still barely 130. Yeah. But the comments from people?
Oh yeah.
But my point is, I'm a petite person. I'm not very tall. I'm not very big. If I don't take in close to 3,000 calories a day when I'm active, I can't function. So my tiny body, which according to all the charts, if you look at charts for BMI and height and weight and how many calories you should be taking in based on that information.
That's a whole nother episode.
It's all bullshit.
It's all bullshit.
It's all bullshit. If I were to take in the, I don't know, 1,600 calories, 1,800 calories that like textbooks say is standard for my body, I would not get out of bed.
No.
I would not be able to get out of bed. Days where I'm super busy and I miss a meal, I feel like I'm going to die. Should take a lot of calories.
Good.
Because yet again, your brain needs calories.
Your brain needs
Feed your brain.
Your body needs it.
Also, just like, you're so beautiful, however you are. However your body is, that is your vessel. And it's powerful. And it's keeping you alive.
I mean, right? I love the saying, you can't hate yourself into, like, loving yourself, essentially, right?
Yeah.
It's like, that starts right now. Right now.
Yes. And it's not too late.
Yeah.
It's never too late. You're in your 60s? And you're trying out the next new fad? Why? My question is why?
Why?
What's your motivation? What was the impetus? And what's the feeling behind the impetus? What got you to that impetus? Do you want your health to improve? Great, see a nutritionist. Do you want your body to look different? Okay, why?
Yeah. Because I don't think that's bad.
No.
But I think it depends on the why. The why matters. And like what's different. Like what does that mean? Right? Do you want to like put on more muscle?
Yeah.
Because like there's that and again this goes
don't worry about it.
But just like that whole like I'm gonna put on lean
muscle, toned muscle.
I'm gonna put on toned muscle. No, and I'm still dealing with that as an instructor where I get comments like that. People would be like, I just want to put on just lean. Like, I don't want to get bulky. I don't want to eat too many carbs because I'll get bulky. I don't want to lift too heavy because it's like the muscle's there, right?
Yeah.
You build the muscle.
It's inside your body already.
It's already there. That's as lean as it's going to get because it's not very strong.
Yeah.
You did it, I guess. But if we're going for what the visual is, then you need to make it bigger and stronger.
Yeah. If your look that you're going for is atrophied muscles, okay. Stop working out, I guess.
Yeah. Like skinny fat that's the skinny fat, right?
Yeah.
But like, if you want to have this quote unquote tone situation, right? It's like you have to build the muscle for
Yeah,
the
you have
muscle to be visual on the outside of your fat and skin. So build your muscle.
feed it, fuel it.
And you have to fuel it. It starts with fueling it.
Yeah.
Can't just like bicep a curl into it into having a bicep like that.
No.
No, you can try, I guess.
I guess.
I guess it's a harder road. I'm sure at some point it would, you either snap and look like Popeye.
Just get out your shake weight. Remember shake
Oh
weights?
my God, remember shake weights? Talk about a fad.
So cute.
So
what a
cute.
great look for everyone using those shake weights.
I mean, that was definitely produced by a porn
100%.
king.
100%.
I mean, I think that's where we leave that.
Let's get shake weights.
We're going to buy you a shake weight, Maureen.
Maureen, thank you so much for your question.
Yes.
It was an amazing question.
Yeah.
Here's a shake weight.
Here's a shake weight. You too get a shake weight. Thanks for coming to KT Hot Takes.
Hot take.
Hot take. Hot take.
Was that a high kick or fan kick?
It was a fan kick.
Squint, fan kick. Into a layup.
How do we end it?
I would like to have a little more balance. I feel like I really
You really went for it?
climbed high up on that soapbox. She went to the top of Mount Everest.
I think that's
preach
important.
Her message.
Yes, but you have yes. But you have the knowledge. You have the science backing of that. I'm just like, let's be nicer to ourselves.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks.
And also, please be nice to yourself.
Actually, I had a conversation with a student of mine who's also of the Marine age. And she was saying just future episodes of like, let's talk about perimenopause.
Yes.
And like, how can we help those people who are our age and going into that so that they're not fucking miserable?
Yeah.
For 10 years. Because that's also a hot topic right now in the world is like, what is perimenopause and why are we not educated on it? Why has nobody told us about it?
Because we don't study women's
Because
bodies.
we hate So I know. So then that'll be a great episode for you to jump high on that. I'll build it and you hit it out.
We're going to go to the top of Mount Everest, and then we're going to build a skyscraper on top of it, and then we're going to go to the roof deck of the skyscraper, and I will preach
talk about perimenopause.
Talk about perimenopause to the stars.
Yeah. So what's Maureen's?
I feel like there was a response in my heart that was really important to me that I didn't get out of my mouth because my mouth was too busy being angry.
I got rage mouth but calm brain. It's real hard.
Yeah, it is hard.
It is.
It's like, how do you balance? So yes, I got high on my high horse because I am like the mama bear who wants to protect all of my little bear cubs.
Yeah, sure.
And my version of that is like, let me go full rage and like bare my fangs and my bear claws are out and I will rip you to pieces. However, and so that's like my feeling toward the wellness industry.
Yeah.
In general.
Yeah.
Because it is I don't even know what it is, multi-billion-dollar industry at this point. Mm-hmm. Years ago, it was already hundreds of billions of dollars in value. So I don't even know what it is today in 2025. But it's like basic marketing, right? People look for an opportunity, for a hole in the market, for an opportunity to provide or present a product to your end user that they feel like they're lacking or that there's like this need that's created, right? Like whether the need is real or not, that's what marketing does, is creates a need so that you are more interested in investing in their product. And so there has been like this campaign that goes way farther back than the modern wellness industry about how women specifically need to buy certain things, do certain things, have certain practices, eat certain things, drink certain things, take certain pills.
Because we're the weaker sex.
To make their bodies look a certain way because we have been told over and over again that that's what provides value, right? If we can have a certain kind of body, then we are more valuable as a human. That is such an upsetting concept to me. And aside from all of the anger that it brings out in me, there is such a piece of my heart that makes me so sad for all of these people, for all of these, and I don't just want to say women because it's not just women.
No, it's not just
but
women.
like A lot of the time it's women.
Right. I mean, yes. Because the problem that they've created is telling us that we are lacking.
Yeah.
That's the problem that they've created.
Yep. And we provide more value by augmenting our appearance.
Yeah.
Or our personality or whatever the thing is, right? Like we are told that we can have more value by changing how we present to the world. And that's the message that I want to light on fire. Just light it right on
Dumpster fire.
And punt it into the atmosphere.
Wherever you punt things.
Yeah. Straight down to hell. I don't know. Straight up into a black hole. I don't know where it goes.
I don't know.
So I can fuck off somewhere else.
Send it with those Jankos.
Straight with those Jankos. Out of here.
And the waist trainers.
The waist trainers. But I think really the root of this question that Maureen asked that I want to address is for all of those women, and it in past versions it has been Kimberly, and Tori. In past versions it has been Tori.
Yes.
For all of us, where is the message coming from that we are not valuable enough as we stand today in this moment? And for most of us, the messaging starts externally, right? Nobody comes out of the womb and is like, well, I'm going to have to think about maintaining a certain physique when I'm older.
No.
That's the messaging that we receive. And then we embody it. And then we make it a part of our identity. And so my question and also my challenge to those people, and as Maureen is talking about her peers that are also in their 60s, these people who have spent, if they're in their 60s, I'm going to guess they've spent 50 years at least being concerned about how their body looks.
Oh, yeah.
Who are you if you're not looking in the mirror? And if you're not looking in the mirror, are you still valuable? I think the answer is yes.
I mean, the answer, it's not that you think it is. It is. It is. You are still valuable, no matter what you look like. I mean, the invention of mirrors really fucked it up for everybody, honestly.
And then scales.
And then scales, right? But that's just part of the business. That's part of it's a tool that was created with the mask of helping when really it's hindering. And I mean, there's times where shit's important, like, all of those tools are important, but then we start to use them as our identity and our crutch. And, if I don't have these things, then I am lacking somehow.
Yeah. Yeah. Like those things contribute to you having enough control over your body, how you present, that then you are valuable enough as a human. And so I think my first truly to those people, to those women and people of all genders and all ages who are who are experiencing that. Is there a person in your life who is giving you that message, or is it just society, right? And if it's society, it's a lot harder to tune it out. And it's also easier because you're not directly attached to those people. You can stop looking at the tabloids. You can stop looking at People magazine. You can stop reading Us Weekly and reading about all the fad diets and reading all of the gossip magazines where they literally make money by trashing celebrities for having weight fluctuations,
having bodies,
for being normal humans.
Yeah.
But if there is a person in your life who is actually delivering that message to you, whether it is an external person or it exists in your own body,
sure,
I would encourage you to have an open dialogue and say, what is it that makes you believe that my value is attached to the size of my body, the size of the clothes that I wear, the way that I look in a swimsuit, the way that I look on my yoga mat?
Yeah.
Because when you're on your deathbed,
respect the deathbed.
Respect the deathbed. It's
coming back.
When you're on your deathbed, does that matter? Do you think you're going to look back at your whole life and think man, I'm really glad I spent so much of my life stressing about making my body look a certain way? And it's also a hard...
But even now, in my life, and I've only had, what, 3, almost 4 decades. I mean, there have been times where, I mean, I look back and I'm like, man, I wish I had not wasted. Or you look back at pictures. I've noticed that. I'll look back at pictures where I like didn't feel good, and I look back now. Tori looks back and I'm like, what the fuck was I thinking? Like, I look great.
Yeah, yeah.
She's a hottie with a body.
I mean, let's talk about body dysmorphia,
right? And like, and I think that it all comes from this multi-billion-dollar thing.
Yeah.
And I don't even think it's tabloids anymore, because like, who's really looking at those? I mean, maybe the 60-year-olds, but like, social media is really where it comes from, right? And the idea that this like AI, I just had this experience a few days ago where AI is now doing like headshots.
I've seen that.
Yes. And but in this moment of talking to this person, they literally said, they saw a picture of their real self compared to their AI headshot, and they're like, oh, I don't like myself anymore. Like, literally said it out loud. And I was like, that is the problem.
That's a big problem.
Like, I understand using like a tiny little like thumbnail, right? So you can't really see if what that is, like for business, right?
Yeah.
But that's a problem. It's taking something that kind of looks like you and enhancing all these features to whatever this standard is. Yeah. Whatever this gold standard is. And therefore, I mean, there's like kids going into doctors and being like, make me look like this filter. So
it makes me so
sad. It makes me so sad. And, but it's no different than the tabloids and all that. But now it's readily available.
Yeah. And it's everywhere you look.
And it's also this, like, even the subconscious shit out there that's happening is hard for like the younger generations, right? Where they don't even know that that's necessarily a bad thing, but all of a sudden they're looking at themselves and they're like, oh, well, why are my arms look like that? Or why does my face not angular like that?
Yeah.
Right?
Why don't I have a thigh gap?
Is thigh gap still hot? Are we still looking for thigh gaps?
I would say in some markets, yes.
Even on my skinniest of days. It's how your body's built.
Yeah, it's because you have it's because you have blood in your veins, and you have skin on your bones, and you have muscle, and you have cellulite. But by the way, BT dubs, everybody has cellulite.
Everybody.
You can't get rid of it. You can just dehydrate it.
Oh my God.
It's always going to be there.
Do you ever have a fascia blaster?
Come on, the fascia blaster.
I definitely bought one. 100%.
Yeah,
and I sat in my shower with some like kind of, I don't know, it was not, I guess it was an oil of some kind. Yeah. And just rubbed it on my thighs.
And did it blast your fascia?
And I was black and blue.
Yes.
So that's cool. That's like what a trade-off, And did I have cellulite still? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean...
Yeah, because it's a part of our structure. It's a part of our physiological human structure. We all, every single one of us on this planet has cellulite. We all have it. Mm. Some of us have more visible cellulite than others. But like, that's your body. And if that makes you less valuable of a human because your cellulite is more visible, there's no if, by the way. That doesn't make you more valuable of a human to have less visible cellulite.
No.
Does not increase your value.
It's not something I have a checklist for when I have friends. I'm like, show me your cellulite.
Ooh, I can see it. Get out of here.
In fact, if you do, I want you to sit at my table because I'm like, yeah, let's all talk about it. Yeah. Let's talk about how it's never affected my life.
No.
Like in the respecting of the deathbed, in the things that I've done in my life and all the fun adventures I've gone on, my cellulite's never stopped me.
Of course not.
Right? So
and look at how strong you are and all the things that your body can do.
Yes.
Aside from, by the way, creating and building a human. Your body built a human.
Twice.
2 times.
Yeah.
A whole ass human.
A whole ass big babies.
Your body built some
big ass babies.
Big old babies.
Come on. I mean, yeah. Large. large and in charge. I've never, though, when I was pregnant, it was the sexiest I've ever felt. I know that's rare. So I know I'm not, there's not a lot of people sitting at that table with me, but it is when I felt the sexiest.
There is something, I mean, I imagine partially it's hormones, but there is something very empowering about being pregnant. Especially, I mean, and third trimester, I feel like is horrendous for the majority of us.
Yeah.
My body was so in pain in third trimester, but I also felt so magical. I felt so powerful.
It depended on which one we're talking about. First or second. First, it felt good. Yeah, I was like, ooh, we are crushing it. Pow, pow, pow. Second one, everything happened fast. And so by the time I got to my third trimester, I was like, all right, we could be done now. We could be my joints.
Oh, yeah.
Just my body.
I had the worst pubic symphysis dysfunction.
Ouch.
Oh. Ouch. Pubic bone pain? Don't recommend it to anyone ever.
Ooh.
Never.
I have a touch of it right now because we did hip thrusts at the gym. And they don't have enough. They have one singular like cushion that goes around the bar at my gym. Why? They only have one.
Well, what's everyone else supposed to use?
Well, if you're me, you use your sweatshirt. Yeah. Because I was like, which I'm sure the balance is so accurate and so on point. Mm. But yeah, the next day I woke up and it felt like somebody had punched me right in the vagina. I was like, ouch.
Fun.
Yeah.
Cute.
I love it.
So
but my butt's strong. So.
And
trade-off question mark?
Your butt's strong, which means you have pelvic stability, which means when you are in menopause and postmenopausal, you're going to be less likely to have hip fractures. And that's really important.
Wow, what a good day.
Come on.
Come on, future Tori. High five.
Come on, future Tori.
Woo.
I think what I felt was most important to say is if you believe that your value is connected to how you look. And that message has been so deeply ingrained in you because society has provided that message to you since you came out of the womb. It is not too late. It is never too late for you to be able to reframe your perception of the world and your perception of yourself. And that is way easier said than done. Like, I have only been exposed to that messaging for 40 years of my life. And I think it took me well into my 30s to be able to like really walk away from that messaging after I think decades of trying and vacillating between like that messaging means nothing to me and I am who I am and feeling like really powerful and confident in who I was. And then, sticking it to the man. That man can suck it.
Yeah.
But then regressing and then sliding back into like what I hate to say comfortable because it's not comfortable, but like what is comfortable because it's what is known.
Yeah.
I've vacillated, I don't even know how many times over recent decades. So
sure.
If you have been receiving that messaging now for 60 plus years, it's going to be even harder because you've been receiving that message for even longer. And also at any given time, you get to decide what your own priorities are.
Yeah. Redefine.
You get to redefine.
Yeah. It's 100% hard. It's deeply ingrained. The well is deep.
Yeah.
And so to climb out of the well, also when water keeps rushing in, from the outside world.
Yeah.
It feels impossible, but I definitely do. I mean, I agree. It is something, the reprogramming of the brain is necessary. Yeah, if you want to live if you want to like look back at your life and be like, thank God I didn't waste time worrying about my cellulite,
Yeah. And being able to be present. I mean, there's such like a shift that comes from not sitting down and looking at your dinner plate and thinking about what every single thing on that plate is going to do to your body. There is something really empowering and really liberating to just like sit down and enjoy a meal and be present with the people that you're with.
Yeah.
And put clothes on that make you feel good and that feel comfortable and that fit who you are instead of like a thing that you're trying to achieve to please who even knows who.
I don't know. Who are we trying to please?
Yes.
Who are we trying to please out there?
And why isn't it yourself?
I mean, it should be yourself.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Shit.
I mean, here's the thing. You're good. You're good. Wherever you are, whoever you are, you're good. You're valuable. You are a worthy human. You belong here. You deserve to be here just as much as everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
The way that your body presents has nothing to do with that.
We want you at our table.
We want you at our table.
Yeah, come on, sit down.
And if somebody else doesn't want you at their table, they can get fucked.
Well, I mean, they just don't deserve you.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, and that's how
Period.
you weed out the trash. The weeds.
Take out the trash.
Take out the trash. If they don't want you at their table, you don't belong there. You don't want to be there.
No.
Because there are some really kick-ass tables.
Yeah. Find them.
Find them.
Find them.
Let them find you.
We have 30.
We're doing it.
Energy's low. My energy is low.
Yeah. Yeah. We tired. That was my message. That was what I really wanted to get across after raging for 30 minutes. I really just wanted to say.
I don't think you're ragey, though. I think you were passionate.
I was very passionate.
But because you also see, you've been in the wellness industry for so long that you've gotten to witness firsthand how negatively impactful it can be to the human psyche.
I mean, it can be life-altering for people.
It is life-altering. I mean, as somebody who has oscillated back and forth, just like you were just saying, like I have come from not caring to very much caring to over-caring to going back to not caring. And that can happen in a day for me. That can happen like 10 times.
Yeah.
Like from moment to moment because the reprogramming takes so long. So I think it's an okay thing to put your body on a soapbox and say, because you also have the knowledge to back it up. Right? For me, I just like look at them and I'm like, look at myself and look at those who are also affected by it and say, it's just a sad, lonely place to be.
Yeah.
Like I have never felt so alone when in those moments and not good enough and being like, why don't I look different?
Yeah.
When I'm working so hard. And it's like, because of genetics, you know, like I can't, the stuff that I've wanted to change about myself you can't. Like I can't.
Yeah,
I cannot make myself fucking taller.
No.
She tried.
You know? Same.
You know, like I can't change that. And so I'm gonna like embracing being a hippie lady, being a curvaceous babe. That, you know, when we were told back when we were little to not have an ass.
Yeah.
It's the one thing the Kardashians have given us. Yeah. Thanks, guys. That butts are
now
cool.
Now my butt's not trendy.
I know.
Thanks a lot, Kardashians.
God. Here's a great point you just made. You can never win. You can
never win. I just want my butt to be trendy. God.
Gotta get your pelvic pain by doing some hip thrusts. Because, I mean... So I think it's fine that you're in a soapbox because we need to hear it. And I think that's a little bit of the reprogramming is putting yourself around people who have reprogrammed themselves.
Yeah.
In the female space. Like finding people who know the other way to live. Instead of putting yourself around, it's the social media feed.
It's way better.
If you're seeing the social medias that are like, you can only look like this, you should only look at this, put this waist trainer on, drink this shitty tea that's literally going to make you poop yourself. Like, if you're seeing those things, it is your job to figure out how to get them off of your feed.
Yep.
You stop following those people, you change the algorithm.
Yeah,
you put social media away.
5 million silly cat videos until your algorithm changes.
Yeah. We started watching with the boys, like funny animal videos on Instagram. And now that's all I see all day long.
Yep.
That and like female empowerment, right?
Yeah.
You know, so
and it's a way better space.
It's a way better space. And I have started to, or like for me who wants to like learn how to lift really heavy and put on more muscle before I turn 40, I'm like, I have to find those women out there who are doing that. And like, how are they doing it in a healthy, safe way? Right. So we're not like injecting things, even though like, God bless, get out there and do it if you want to, but like, and not injecting like Botox. I'm not talking about that, but like the steroidy vibes, you know? But like, here's how you eat to fuel your food because food is fuel.
Yeah. Fuel your
Full
body.
stop.
Yeah.
Full stop. That was the biggest lesson I have taken away in the last 5 years, that food is fuel. Not how much food can I take away to make myself smaller, which I did that for about a decade too. But like, it was like, oh, if I want to build muscle, I have to eat things.
Yeah, you have to
support
fuel
that goal.
your vehicle.
Yeah. And yes.
Your car's not going to drive if your tank's on empty.
Oh, somebody said that about sweets and kids. Shout out to my friend Kirsten, who used this analogy of like we call him Ka-Chow from Cars.
Lightning McQueen.
Yeah, Lightning McQueen. I love that you got that down. Ka-Chow.
We say that in this house all the time. Ka-Chow.
Ka-Chow. And so she was like, listen, if Ka-Chow's out there trying to like run that race, he can't just have the good, the sweet gasoline. Yeah. He's got to have the good fuel that's going to make him go fast. Just trying to talk to your kids about balance of like not bad food and good food, right? Which is also a whole nother topic.
Yeah.
That's one that's deeply ingrained of like,
oh yeah,
that's bad and that's good. And it's like, no, they're not good. They're not bad. It's just different kind of fuel.
Yeah. They exist and they serve different purposes for your body. Yeah. And your body has more needs from some food groups than others.
Because it's the good fuel. That's what's going to make you like run your race, right? Your race of life, right?
Run
it, babe. And so, yeah, I just think I think the soapboxes are needed. And you find people who you don't mind listening to scream from their soapbox.
Get ragey.
And it's okay to get ragey and then take a breath like you did. And you came back and you're like, I didn't need to be ragey. but the message is important.
Yeah.
So I think it's fine.
Great. And I'm it's balance, right? It's all about the balance. We're gonna be balanced. I'm gonna be ragey. I'm gonna be on my soapbox, and I'm also gonna tell you, hey, babe, you're enough. And if you have somebody in your life that's telling you you're not enough, then I'm gonna direct my rage toward them, and they can get fucked.
On that note,
and if you want to go out and get Botox and breast implants and a nose job and do all the things, that's your prerogative. That's your choice. It's not my place to decide either way, right? But it's like, that's a decision that you have to make for yourself.
Yeah. Who's telling you? Is it you or somebody else?
Yeah.
That's what matters.
Yeah.
Because I know, lots of women who have done all of those things.
Yeah.
And I had a reduction. I didn't get my boobs augmented outwards. I had them cut from my body. But best decision of my entire life.
Oh, yeah.
I would do it 17 more times.
I believe it. Just structurally, how much better do you feel?
Oh my God. How much better can I breathe? My asthma got so much better.
Oh, because you didn't have weight? 10 pounds on your
Oh my gosh. Do we even have time for that story?
Do it.
So to get insurance to cover my breast reduction, my mom had one, my grandmother had one. So I was like, and in 4th grade, I was like a C.
In 4th grade?
Yeah.
Baby Tori.
Yeah, baby Tori was huge.
No.
Yeah, she had a rack for days, and I would like wear polos, like because I was at a school where we had to wear uniforms.
Catholic school.
It wasn't, but we were up until like 5th grade. You had to wear a uniform.
I feel like
this school doesn't even exist anymore.
In the 90s had Catholic.
It was
uniforms.
But we were not Catholic. There was no religion to this school that I was aware of. And then during 6th, 7th, and 8th, you could wear what you express yourself. But so 4th grade, when I got huge, I was the only girl that had actual bra. And I wore polos to try to hide it, which made me just feel even bigger because they're like boy polos. And then, I spent I spent all of my life up until I had them cut off, hiding under big shirts.
Yeah.
But God, the best decision of my life. What was I even going to say? Hold on. I've lost it. We were talking about breast reduction. Oh, yes. So to get it covered by insurance, because I was like 21 when I got this done. I was already still a baby. But it was necessary, especially for theater. I couldn't dance the way I wanted to dance. Singing was hard. I'm already, asthmatic.
You can't even, you just have like kyphosis forever.
Yeah.
You can't even you can't even.
Kyphosis in the rounding of my spine was pretty serious. So I went into my, so I got a chiropractor, a note from my chiropractor, but I was like, let's double down. I went to my asthma specialist who he had been my doctor since I was 2. Is this cute little Asian man. And I went in and did all the normal tests. And then we did them again. And I lifted my tits off of my chest so that was weight bearing and did them again. And every single test got better.
Yeah.
And so he was like, yep, here you go. And so I got it for the most part. I still would pay, a little bit, but not anything compared to what it would have been.
Yeah.
So, I believe that there's some good things that plastic surgery can do for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, and
it was the best decision of my life.
I
would do it again.
I have a deviated septum. I'm going to have to end up getting my nose worked on at a certain point. And
Really?
maybe I'll change the shape of it. I don't know. And if I do that, it will 100% be purely for vanity. But also am I... God, this is like a whole new tangent that I don't even want to go on. I don't want to. No, never mind.
Stop it.
You don't get to know. You don't get to. I'm keeping it to
I
myself.
guess you have to keep listening to our podcast because we got some stuff to talk about.
God damn it. Anyway,
that's our problem. We just keep going.
We'll
have to listen to the other one and put it.
Yeah, we'll figure out how to.
Because otherwise, it's an hour and a half now.
Yeah. Okay. Well, guess what? You're enough. You're never too much.
Mm-hmm.
You're always enough.
Yep.
And and that person, if there's a person or people in your life who are telling you otherwise, punch them right in the throat. Straight, just throat punch. Get them out.
We're not condoning violence.
No.
But metaphorically, punch them in the throat. Tori and Kimberly told me to do it, so yeah! Please don't do that.
I mean,
no.
Okay, fine. Fine.
But I guess we're done here. So
see you next Tuesday.
Bye.
Bye.
That's what a Hills and Valleys episode that was.